Hello everybody, it's Lord Magicus here, and we're back to play more Magic, and we're going to play some Modern, but it's not going to be fishes this week, nope. So, a lot of you are still relatively new to my channel, but should know that in addition to being a Merfolk Master, I am also a very big fan of the People's Cannon. That's right, I like Goblin Charbelcher. I played this deck back before it was cool, back when you actually had to find real lands in your deck before you could launch it, but this deck is just like way more powerful than it used to be, and actually I don't think it's that bad in this metagame right now. Like, we've seen the mono blue version actually gets played a little bit, but I'm here to also play the red green version, which is a lot faster and a lot more devastating with what it does. So before I skip anything else here, special thank you to all the subs and members I have on Twitch and YouTube. If you decide that for whatever reason that you feel like you want to support me in that way, then you can be on my title card as well. So I want to just thank you guys. I don't do this because I need money, but if I get it, it helps, and I put it towards the expenses for this channel, like the rental service for playing these really fun, weird decks. So appreciate it. And yeah, let's look at this. Let's get our deck put up here. Also, if you want to follow me on all of my social medias and stuff, my link tree is in the chat here. I hope that it's in the chat. Please tell me that it worked. There it is. Okay. Oh no, it's in there too. Why go away? Dismiss. There we go. I couldn't see it because Twitch had like a little bubble over my chat. All right, no, we're good. It's there. Yeah. So let's get our deck here, and then we'll talk about how this nonsense works and what the heck we're doing. All right, Belcher. This is a Gruul deck. Can we make this show up a little bit better? I'm going to make these cards a little bit smaller, I think. There we go. That seems to work. All right. Beautiful. All right. This is how we do this. This is our deck list for this. So, what is the idea with this? Well, first of all, so you'll notice there are no actual lands in this deck. So the idea behind it is your primary win condition is this Goblin Charbelcher here. It reveals cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a land, which we are not going to reveal one. And will deal damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to any target. And then if you reveal a mountain, it deals double however much damage it is. However, we are never going to reveal a mountain. We are instead just going to reveal our entire deck, and our opponent will take whatever the count of cards in our library is, they will take that much damage to their face. So the trick here is that we are trying to make 7 mana, and then play Charbelcher, and then activate it, and then the opponent dies. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy. How do we do this? Well, we want to play a bunch of ramp spells. So to that end, we have our Strike It Rich. So in turn 1, we can make a treasure token to help with this. And it helps enable the turn 2 and turn 3 wins. We have our Desperate Rituals and Pyretic Rituals, which add extra mana. We also have Manamorphose, which we'll talk about how that helps in a second. But and 2 copies of Irencrag Feat, which add 7 mana. However, you can only cast 1 more spell this turn. So if you're playing Irencrag Feat, it means you will not be able to play a Pact of Negation to protect your Goblin Charbelcher. This has to be the second to last spell you cast, and then you play Charbelcher and activate it. And if this resolves, you pretty much win. If not, then you're screwed. So yeah, we play 4 copies of Pact of Negation. It's free. This is a very all-in deck. Okay, you are either gonna win or you are gonna die spectacularly. There is very little in between. Gonna swing for the fences in this. So that's one way that we win this game. So what's the other way? Well, the other option is that we can also win by casting this other card. What is this card? This is Doomsday, but in green. So let's read this. Recross the Paths. You reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land, which we have no lands in our deck, remind you. So we will be revealing every card in our deck. You put the revealed card onto the battlefield, which is we don't reveal any lands, so we'll be putting nothing onto the battlefield. And the rest of the revealed cards go in the bottom of your library in any order. Clash with your opponent. If you win, return Recross to its owner's hand. So, yes. What happens is, you reveal your whole deck, then your whole deck goes on the bottom of your deck in any order. So what Recross the Paths is effectively letting you do is just stack your deck in whichever order you like. It's fantastic, right? Yeah, it's great. You get to order your deck. Well, how do we win with this? Easy. We're gonna stack our deck in such a way that we're gonna the following turn we're going to draw a miracle spell, Reforge the Soul. We'll be casting that for a colorless and a red. Each player discards their hand and then draws 7 cards, which we will draw a combination of the following cards. Pact of the Titan, which is a 0-mana spell that just makes a 4/4 red giant creature token. This trigger is going to be irrelevant because we're either going to win the turn we cast this card or we're not going to win at all. Same thing as Pact of Negation. We either win that turn or we're not winning at all. So Pact of the Titan, yeah, it lets us make for 0 mana, make a token. It's fine. It is, yeah, something that we can then use to cast Infernal Plunge. It's an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature. Alright, so, yeah, we sacrifice a creature, this 4/4 giant here. And then what? Well, we get 3 red mana for this. So then we have to have 1 mana free after casting this Reforge the Soul, right? So we're going to need usually 3 lands here. Or you can do it with 2 lands and a treasure token. That is a way to potentially do this. Or you can do this by playing a land for the turn. So there's a couple ways to go about doing this. Usually I think you're going to play a land on the same turn that you do this. But if you already have 3 lands in play, you may not need that. So, yeah, you play something like Shatterskull Smashing. It's one of our bolt lands here. Yeah, play the Pact of the Titan, make a creature. Then play Infernal Plunge, sacrifice the creature, make 3 red. Then use that 3 red to cast Ruby Medallion. So you'll have 1 floating and a Ruby Medallion in play. Alright, so that's great. Now all of our rituals are dark rituals instead of just regular red rituals here. So with the 1 red floating, you cast Desperate Ritual or Pyretic. It doesn't matter, either one. So after you cast, the first one will be, you go from 1 to 3, and then the next one will take you up to 5 mana. And then you can also cast Manamorphose here. Manamorphose will cost 1 mana, but also make 2 and draw you another card. So the remainder of this you stack Manamorphose here such that you cast 1, make an extra mana, draw a card, and then you just keep chaining these into each other. And ultimately, what you can do then, if you don't want to cast Goblin Charbelcher to win that way, you have the alternative of casting Wish. You may play a card you own from outside the game this turn, which is our sideboard here. Which means we're going to cast this Wish. We're going to Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach will then, we can cast that card for 1 red. Because remember, it is a red spell here. So the Ruby Medallion makes it cheaper. It gives every non-land card in our graveyard escape. The escape cost is equal to its mana cost. And you have to exile 3 cards from the graveyard. So you cast the Underworld Breach. And then you can cast a bunch of rituals to make some more mana. Cast Wish again. You can wish for this Undercity Informer. The Undercity Informer is going to be important here in a second. Just making sure that, we're going to use one of these Manamorphose to make a black mana in order to cast this. So we cast the Undercity Informer and sacrifice it in order to mill our entire deck. And once our entire deck is in the graveyard, then we can cast as many rituals here as we need to. Yep. And then we'll cast Wish one more time with Underworld Breach. Finally, getting the Thassa's Oracle. We will use the Strike It Rich flashbacks in order to make 2 treasure tokens that we can sacrifice for blue and blue. Cast Thassa's Oracle, win the game. That's the plan. That's how you win with Doomsday in Modern. It sounds really complicated, but once you like get the pattern down, it's a little bit more straightforward than you would realize. So the whole idea is we're going to cast Recross the Paths, draw 7 cards with Reforge the Soul, make a shit ton of mana using our rituals here, cast Wish, get Underworld Breach, make some more mana using our rituals, cast Wish from the graveyard again, get Informer, mill ourselves, make 2 treasure tokens using the flashback and Strike It Rich, or I mean, just paying a red actually will do it too. Yeah, we don't even need to like flash it back, just the red cost. And yeah, then cast Thassa's Oracle, and that'll do it. No, you cannot cast Manamorphose after doing that because you will draw a card and die. So you have to use the treasure tokens from Strike It Rich in order to cast Oracle. Yeah. So that way the game we can actually win through something like say Leyline of Sanctity. If our opponent is, protecting themselves with Leyline against the Belcher, well, we don't actually need to worry about that because the Oracle can do the job for us. And it is also worth noting, once the Undercity Informer resolved, we can cast these Pact of Negations from our graveyard as many times as we need to. We can just every 3 cards in our graveyard is a potential counterspell that protects Thassa's Oracle. So once the Oracle, once we cast the Oracle, it is going to resolve, and their opponent cannot do anything about it because we have basically infinity answers to deal with whatever they're doing. So yeah, that's basically the idea here. We're either going to be getting this Goblin Charbelcher in play and just activating it for a bajillion damage, or we set up Recross the Paths in such a way that we can wish for a breach in the sideboard and kill them with that. So we have a way to win without the graveyard, and we have a way to win with the graveyard. We have a way to beat Leyline of Sanctity, and we have a way that we, can just shoot them in the face. So there are plenty of options. If they Pithing Needle or Charbelcher, we still have a way to win using Wish here. Yep. Plenty of ways to go about doing this. And then in the sideboard, we just play some, we have our engine cards here. We need Oracle, Informer, and Breach to win the game. But also, if we're up against, like, discard, then we can bring in Leyline of Sanctities. Pyroclasm is fine to bring in against stuff like Boros, if we're going up against the Energy Deck, or any other creature disruption that we might be worried about. Can buy us a ton of time like that. We have Magus of the Moon, which can also slow our opponents down that way. If we're up against, say, like Jeskai, this might be useful against that. And yeah, Force of Vigor, same idea. If they're playing a bunch of like Pithing Needles or things that we need to care about with that, Force of Vigor is a way to get rid of that stuff. And Veil of Summer to just like help fight against more counterspells. So yeah, lots of options here. Magus of the Moon is worth noting, like, your opponent's probably not going to keep in any removal against you. And I mean, if they do, it's kind of silly. So, because we don't really play any creatures to them to, like, use a Fatal Push or anything like that on. So, bringing in Magus of the Moon is actually pretty safe for the most part, because they don't really have a lot of cards that can do anything. Like, if they're going to keep in removal just for Magus of the Moon, that seems really sketchy. So, I mean, whereas, like, they're more likely to have something like Wear and Tear if we play Blood Moon, so I think Magus of the Moon usually makes a little bit more sense in the sideboard, just because if they're keeping cards against it, then the cards that they've kept in their deck are just generally worse against us when we're not playing it anyway, so yeah, that's the idea, that's how this deck works. Let's see it in practice a little bit. It can be very fast. Turn 3 is very easy to kind of go after. I mean, a lot of that will just start off with, like, Strike It Rich in turn 1, Recross the Paths in turn 2, turn 3, Miracle, Reforge the Soul, and then just win the game. So, tons and tons of options here. And, yeah, that's how it goes. So we're going to take this for a spin, see how we do in the modern metagame. So it's a really, really fun deck to play, but it takes a little bit of practice to kind of get used to it. I have played it a little bit in paper with this version. However, I have not played a whole lot with this online, so part of this is going to be a little bit of practice and how to like click all through all this stuff in MTGO. There's a few different variations on how this works here too. A few competing ideas of like what makes the exact best piles for Reforge the Soul and whatnot, but in general, it's the same idea. So, all right. Well, we are on the play. Great. All right. Yeah, and everything else is just lands here. I think we're actually keeping this, right? Because we're gonna play a land on. Well, so what? On turn 1 we go land. Turn 2 land. Turn 3 we can play the Belcher with the other land. We'll have 3 lands. We use Ritual, play Belcher, and turn 4 we just activate it. We protect it with Pact. Keep. Easy keep. Okay. I'll play the Turntimber Symbiosis here. Since that's not immediately obvious that it's Belcher, this is a card that like Titan used to play, so maybe it might throw them off a little bit. If I play like one of these 2 cards, they will definitely know what's up here, so we're not going to do that. Oh my god, we're up against the mirror here. We have to be, right? They're playing Lotus Bloom. Well, the thing is, we're going to be a little bit faster than them. Okay. But they're playing the blue mirror here, right? We're playing the red one. This is actually really interesting right now because I could play Recross the Paths here, but the problem is I have to burn my Pyretic Ritual to do that, and this deck does play Force of Negation, right? So I think it's safer to just play the Charbelcher because we still have Pact for that. However, our life total doesn't actually matter all that much here, so yeah, I think that we could also cast the Sundering Eruption on them too. That's definitely possible. Let's play this tapped. There's no need to do anything yet because they need this Lotus Bloom in order to go off here. So they might have something like Jawari Disruption. So, but they're tapping out for it. Okay, so this is fine. Suppression Ray. Okay, that doesn't actually do anything to us. So this is also one of the advantages of the red list. The red list is faster than the blue list. That's pretty good here. Okay. Yes. All right. I think we want to play the Manamorphose first, because we could draw another Pact here. Interesting. Okay. There's a Valakut Awakening. I think we just play Belcher here. Okay, so good. We have Pact of Negation, so if they try to do anything to our Belcher, we're just gonna kill them. They are unfortunately a turn short here with their Lotus Bloom. Do have to worry about stuff like Commandeer. They do have that, so... Sink into Stupor, huh? That's interesting. I'm surprised it asks me if I want to pay 0 for this. So it's a good plan from them. However, it is not going to work. Sure, you may as well attack. Alright, activate. Fire the People's Cannon! Alright, any order, it doesn't matter. Our opponent is at negative 36 life. There we go. That's how it's done, people. Okay, so it is worth noting that their version of the deck is a little bit different. So they are playing an all blue mana base, because they actually do play blue spells that can interact. So they have stuff like Force of Negation, Snapback, Commandeer, but also Sink into Stupor. So they have some stuff that could, like, interact. But they need blue for Thassa's Oracle. They have Selective Memory as well. That's their other combo card. So with 7 mana, they can either play the Goblin Charbelcher and activate it right away. So or they can cast Selective Memory and then a Thassa's Oracle and just win with no cards in their deck. We definitely want Veil of Summer. Trying to think what else here would be helpful. Potentially the Leylines. They probably don't have... I don't think they have a lot of graveyard hate to stop that plan. But they do have a bunch of counter spells. Their creatures are pointless. They're not going to actually do anything to kill us on that front. Possibly just the Veil of Summers, because... Well, let me think here. The Veil of... it makes our spells uncounterable, but they do have stuff that can counter them. They have, like, Jawari Disruption, too. It's basically just like an anti-force card here. I think, in general, we're pretty favored against what they're doing. They really have to start with Lotus Bloom, though. If they don't have Lotus Bloom to start off with, it's actually a lot harder for them. And Leyline of Sanctity can still be bounced with Sink into Stupor. I'm not sure if that's really what we want. I'm pretty sure that we just want these Veils. So what am I taking out for this? Maybe one Valakut Awakening, and... I gotta make a decision really quick here. Alright, we'll do it like that. We shouldn't have to change a whole lot, because our plan is just inherently faster than theirs. So they really need to, like, have force and, like, a turn 4 win against us. We do have to be careful because of stuff like Commandeer, so... Let's see. They're keeping 7 cards. It's probably not a good sign. However, we do have... Let's strike it rich here, so we go... How many lands we got? 1, 2 lands, so we can go... Turn 1, smash, turn 2, strike it rich. Or turn 1, smash, strike it rich. Turn 2, Pinnacle Monk, recross. Stack our deck however we want. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to keep this. Okay, they don't... Yeah, so let's see. They do have Lotus Bloom, so we gotta be careful about this. We played the Jawari Disruption, alright. So I do have to play this, bolt myself, play Strike It Rich. So we need the treasure token in order to cast Recross the Paths. Alright. But we have to be careful because Commandeer can let them gain control of a very critical spell, and it does not actually counter it, so it's very dangerous. That is absolutely a card you want Pact of Negation for. Alright. Okay, so how do we want to do this here? It might. I think that they might force this, and I'm kind of hoping that that's what happens. So if we can find one ritual, we can potentially still win next turn with Irencrag feat if they don't have like another answer. Interesting. Okay. So they're letting us stack our deck here. So we have to be very careful about how we do this. So the first card we always put on here is Turntimber Symbiosis, because we want to get the Recross back in our hand. How many? So Lotus Bloom's going to go to 1 next turn, and then we're going to untap and then draw here. And I think the thing is they're either going to have it or they're not going to. I'm not sure how much we can play around it. So what I could do is stack my deck so that I cast Manamorphose, draw a Pact, and then cast the other Manamorphose, draw a Ritual. No, I don't think that's enough though. It's not. I don't think it's actually gonna work. Yeah, like I don't think I have a way of beating them having a counterspell right now. Let me think here. Get to draw 1 card for the turn, so I could draw what? I can draw a Bolt Land. And then go Manamorphose, Manamorphose. But I still need a Ritual then, that's the problem. Get a Ritual, like, yeah, the Bolt Land doesn't really... I mean, yeah, that takes me from 3 to 4, gets me to Irencrag, and then the thing is, if they have it, they just, like, kill me. I think, though, I might have to do that, because I'm not sure that letting them draw 7 cards is going to be the better option here, so I think that's what we're doing. So yeah, well, we get to draw 2 cards here, right? So maybe this will work. Ritual and, no, it's still not gonna, because it's not enough mana, unfortunately. Sure. Okay. War of Invention, okay, cool. Oh, no, we're not casting anything else here. So normally how this works is you'd want a Miracle, but I don't feel like... Miracling is not actually going to help us right now. Because we can't do it with any sort of protection, so I don't think it actually makes a difference. Alright, well, they either have it or they don't. Okay, they did not have it. Alright, we win. There we go. Beat the Blue Belcher deck. Yeah, Jawari Disruption might have been what they left up there, but it wouldn't have been enough to beat me at that point, so... They needed to have, like, a Force of Negation. And the thing is, if they had a Force, or a Commandeer for that matter, either one of them could have been sufficient, but apparently they did not, so... Disruption just meant that I would have had to use the Pact on whatever they were doing in their turn, so... Alright, we got there. We're off to a good start. So we get to see kind of what this deck does. Okay. We're on the play for round 2. Alright, what do we got here? Hand is actually very slow. We just have a bunch of lands, a Pact, Recross. I mean, that technically is like a turn 4 win. We have no idea what we're up against. They didn't show a companion. So the no Gigantha means it may not be Boros Energy. It could be good enough. Okay, you know what? I will keep it. Like, we do have Recross. Like, we have the mana to get there on turn 4. It's a little bit slow, but we'll try. If we were on the draw, I probably wouldn't keep this, but on the play, I think that it's a little bit better. It's a little bit more acceptable. We can beat, like, one counterspell. Again, play Turntimber on turn 1, because that's the one that least likely shows what we're doing. So that is a card, again, Titan has played that card before, so they could think that that's what's happening, but we're not going to tell them otherwise yet. Planes, okay. Interesting. No. That is one of the worst cards we could have drawn here. Oh no! I need that for Recross the Paths. Fuck. Alright, shit. That's really, really bad. Alright, yeah. Alright, well, now we're probably just using Recross the Paths to get, like, Goblin Charbelcher, which is not ideal. So we can't actually draw 7 anymore. Or I guess we could get Valakut Awakening, right? That's still a possible one, but it's going to be slower. Looks like we might be up against Death and Taxes, which is not a very good matchup for us. They may be blowing up one of our lands right now, which is going to be just devastating against what we're doing here. Yep, goodbye land. Death and Taxes is very, very difficult, and especially White Orchid Phantom in particular is just a very difficult card to beat. Alright, Ruby Medallion actually does help a little bit. May as well play it, since we can't do anything else. It will make our rituals cheaper if we can find some. Eldrazi? Ooh, okay. Are we playing Eldrazi and like, I haven't seen this in a really long time. Got, like, Thought-Knot Seer going on? Oh, God. That'd be terrifying. Has to be, right? I can't imagine what else it would be. Oh, God. No, they're going to play Displacer on this thing. I think we're actually just fucked. Because they're going to just displace this thing, and we're going to just keep losing all our lands here. Okay, that's not good. Sure. The vial doesn't do anything. Alright, so what do we do here? I can deal 2 damage to stuff, right? Because I could actually just cast Shatterskull Smashing, which I might actually have to do. Just because otherwise what's going to happen is they'll untap, they're going to blink this thing and just keep blowing up lands every turn. I think I'm supposed to just play this... Play Pinnacle Monk, probably. And just, yeah, for X equals 2, just kill this thing. I'm going to have to go to 12. Like, it's a lot of damage to take. Go to 12, which means they attack me to 9, potentially play something else. So I have like 1 or 2 turns to figure something out. It's not good. Actually, I think in that case I need to play the Disciple here, because then next turn I can play this tapped. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pay 3 life, but... Okay, if they have another Phantom, though, I think we're just dead, so... We're doing the best we can. Need them to stop having threats, because like the more creatures they play, like the lower our life totals are going to be here. So we have like potentially like the time to cast Recross and draw something off of it. If this is Thought Not Seer, I'm probably... I mean, okay, they have to take Recross the Paths, right? That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, they need to take this card. I can afford to bolt myself and then cast like 1 more spell. So I'm gonna be at... actually, no, I can't. I'm fucked. I need them not to take Recross. That's... I'm gonna be at 9, and then they're gonna attack me for 7. Yeah, I can't actually bolt myself, so it means I cannot cast this Reforge the Soul. Alright, they took Recross, so that's bad. So what, I have to draw another Recross, I think? Okay. I mean, it's not okay, but... Alright. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to get attacked for 7, so we're going to die next turn no matter what we do here. The only possible hope is we have to literally draw in our 7-card hand like the exact perfect 7 cards in order to win this game. So this is it. We have no choice but to do this and just... We have to draw the Pact of the Titan and the Infernal Plunge. We got one of them, but not the other one. Alright. And then we would have needed, like, rituals beyond that, too. Alright. This matchup is just really bad, so, yeah. And this version in particular is, like, awful. They have Thought Not Seer to attack our hand, which Taxes normally does not have both angles of going after our lands and our hand. So, yeah, we're in a lot of trouble both ways here. Yikes. I don't even know, like, what... I don't think Pact of Negation is actually the relevant card that we need to be worried about here. I think... What is going to help me the most right now? There's honestly not a whole lot. I mean, Pyroclasm kills some stuff like Thalia and the Phantom. So I guess probably that. Uh-oh. No. Where'd that go? Okay, no, we just got okay, both Pyroclasm. Okay, good. I thought I clicked on an extra card here. Yeah, Leyline is like I get they have Thought Knot, but at the same time, I don't really want to be using that. Can't really mana screw them that badly. They also might have stuff like Pithing Needle, so I may need the Force of Vigors. I think I'm just doing it like this. This is not, yeah, this is bad. We're going to struggle with this match. This hand does nothing. This hand is actually not that bad, right? We've got land. I think we have to keep this. We can't cast Recross the Paths, though. That's the other unfortunate part. No, well, we can. We have Strike it Rich. Okay. So if I draw another Bolt land, then I can turn 2 Recross and just pray. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to do much better than this, so we got to just try. Alright. Sheffet Dunes. Alright, cool. Ether Vial, sure. Okay, well that's actually not terrible, because that's 3, 4, we get to Belcher and just pretend... Well, we don't have enough mana to kill them with Belcher next turn, that's the only issue. Like, if I got to keep the treasure token here, then that would be okay, I think. I need at least one more land. Oh, fuck. Ghost Quarter is so bad for us! It's just a strip mine against our deck. Like, this is why Taxes is so bad. They just blow up all of our lands and we can't do anything. Again, we can't actually do anything here. We might have been okay if we could have, like, turned 2 this Recross, but yeah, this way it's just... Yeah. This has got to be, like, one of the worst matchups. They have all the cards they need to interact with us, just, like, blowing up our lands to keep us from actually doing anything. They have Thought Knots that they can ramp into with the temples, and then... Yeah, sure, Deafening Silence, that's... Yeah, that's... Again, another reason we needed Force of Vigor is because they have cards like this in their deck, too. That and, like, Pithing Needle, like, this is almost unwinnable at this point. That doesn't do anything for us. I can cast Strike it Rich, which I kind of need to. But that's the only spell I can cast this turn, so... I think we are losing this one. We got gifted, I think, a pretty decent matchup where we have a speed advantage against, like, the blue mirror. They have more interactive cards, though, that are actually good against us. But yeah, this is, like, one of the worst matches. They can just go very hard in mana denial, and there's, yeah, nothing we can really do about it. Like, the best thing we can hope for right now is to just draw another land so we can play Charbelcher, and then hopefully on our next turn just, like, activate it. They just have Thought Knot Seer here, so we're just gonna die. Well, actually, no, not yet. If we draw the land, we're still okay. Like, this doesn't actually, like, do it. Because, okay, we have 2 Belcher, so if we draw the land, we have a turn. They gotta take one of these, and then we need them not to take the other one. They took Recross the Paths? What does this mean? They have like a Disruptor Flute or something? I guess we could technically cast the Ritual for the mana we need for this. Draw step. What are we doing in the draw step? Like, I'm definitely just casting this Belcher and praying, and if something bad happens to it, then so be it. Okay. That doesn't actually, like, do anything, though. Doesn't stop me from putting this Belcher in play. Unless they have 2 Ephemerates, then, you know, then we're screwed. Well, they can't cast any more non-creatures this turn, so hopefully that this will just be enough. They attack me for 6, and then I just cast Ritual, activate Belcher. Alright, let's hope. If this is all they have, then this is enough. Them doing Ephemerate. Oh fuck! Yeah, their Deafening Silence might keep them from actually like casting any more spells right now. Alright, well I guess it's gonna depend. 5? Oh god, what does this mean? Do they have Reality Smasher? Am I gonna like die? Okay. We'll see. Okay. They don't have enough mana for Chef at Dunes to increase everything yet, so that's a plus. But I'm assuming that they've ticked this up to 5 because they have Reality Smasher in this deck, which would make sense because they have the Eldrazi Temple, so... The Awakening does nothing here. It doesn't really matter what they take from here because we have 3 rituals and we only need 1. Well, I need them to not blow up my lands because I need to be able to have 2 mana to cast one of these rituals. Oh, that's not good. Do they have 2 Reality Smashers? Holy fuck. If they have 2, we're just sunk. No! Okay, we're dead. No, I can't beat Skyclave. You got it. Alright, well, there you go. Yeah, that was just yet another card they had that just, like, is devastating against us, so, you know. Absolutely fucking just terrible matchup. Which is, it's also incredible, because that's a matchup, like, I don't know when the last time I've ever seen, like, Eldrazi and Taxes in Modern is, but it figures that it would just be the league I'm playing this deck that, you know, we get to get paired against it, so... Modern be wild, yo. Alright, well, we get to be on the play again, so that's a plus. What do we got here? We have nothing. We have to mulligan this. We got Recross the Paths, so we got 1 land. Ew, that's not enough. They have mulligan to 6 as well. Yeah, I gotta mulligan this too. Alright. I think we're keeping this, right? This looks reasonable. They're on 6 cards, we're on 5, so... I don't think we're casting this Ruby Medallion, and... I'm not very sure about this Desperate Ritual either. Alright, do what we can. It's not the greatest 5 cards in the world, but we'll live with it. Ooh, that's not usually a good sign. We don't want to see Flooded Strands. That usually means that there are counter spells to be worried about here. Okay, Strike it rich. Neat. Again, remember, Pact of Negation can never protect Recross the Paths, because we will die to the trigger first. Okay, Undercity, so we might be up against Goryo's Vengeance. That could be an Esper deck here. Seems likely to me. This is also not a spell I want to be drawing right now, because I can't actually use this. Okay. Sure. Nope. Okay, yeah, this is not a terribly good hand for what we're up against here. We're going to need a lot more help, and the mulligan to 5 certainly didn't help. Blue decks are going to be a little bit tough, but they're not unbeatable. We do have, like, packs and stuff to help, but Pact only really helps with the Belcher specifically. Ah, yeah, Frog, sure. This doesn't actually, like, do anything other than... Okay, I mean, it lets me play a land here. That's the important thing. Which means if I can draw a Charbelcher, I can use Ritual, play it, and have Pact to protect it, hopefully. That's our plan right now. Okay, let's hope. Yep. Yeah, they know they don't need the removal spells here. Okay, so we're up just against Dimir Murktide, it looks like, I think. I guess, no, it still could be the Reanimator deck, right? That might be why they have, like, both Flats and Strand here. Tamiyo, sure. I'm not worried about Tamiyo. Nope, pass. All right. We need Belcher. That's how this has to go here. We need it quicker, because, like, sooner rather than later, because they're going to start drawing a bajillion cards to have, like, a bajillion counter spells. Cling to Dust. Okay, so yeah. Any non-relevant card they're drawing, they're just discarding here. Which means they probably have at least one counterspell, possibly two, because they kept 2 cards in hand, so... I think this just means we're dead. Because at this point, it is unlike... Like, yeah, if they have 2 counterspells, we're never beating that. And I think that it's likely that they do. They have way too many cards in hand for us to be able to overcome this. At this point, they could just discard everything to the Psychic Frog, and we would actually just die from that, so... yeah, that'll do it. Harbinger of the Seas is a card that will just win the game, so, yeah, alright. We need to be faster than this. Alright. So, actually, Magus of the Moon is not useless against them. They're probably not going to keep removal here. We don't really want Irencrag feat against this, because they're a counterspell deck, and so it makes us very vulnerable to it. We got one of the tap lands. I mean, Veil of Summer is slow, but it also might be something that we want here, so... It's hard to sideboard a lot of cards here because you actually need most of them. Alright, let's try. Let's see. Again, like, it's a little bit slow because we can't strike it rich in turn 1 with this. I think that I'm supposed to mulligan this. This is not much better, but I guess I'm going to keep this. Just put, like, Shatterskull in the bottom. I guess I'm just going to play this so I can keep Veil of Summer up just in case they Thoughtseize me. If I draw a Ritual, then maybe I can play Magus next turn. Yeah. Do 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 do. I don't really like bolting myself like this, but I want to make sure I can get my treasure token out for so I have it for next turn. If they just tap out for Frog, I'm pretty sure I just play this Magus here. That's not bad. I mean, if I play Magus, it kind of forces them to do something with this, right? They do have a fetch land, though, so... Yeah. I think... I'm just gonna play this. I'm not gonna run this out just yet. I want to wait till they like fetch for like another Watery Grave or something. Because if they like try to tap out for Harbinger of the Seas, then I can now tap out because I have the treasure token. I can play Magus of the Moon. Sure. All right. Do I want to cast Reforge the Soul? I actually kinda do. Sure, why not? So I feel like it's gonna suck being in our hand, but we may as well do it. So get the counter spell out. Okay. Good. Should make it a little bit harder for them to do anything. See, unlike Merfolk, we're not turning their lands blue. We're turning their lands red. So they can't actually use the red mana for anything productive. So now if we draw like a Charbelcher, we're like free and clear to just do it. They have like Force of Negation. That's it. I can play Valakut Awakening on their turn. Alright, we can attack. I actually don't really need to worry. Like, I can't use really either of these right now. Just get 3 new cards in my hand. That seems fun. Yep, that's a nice mountain. They put both in the bottom, so yeah, that's obviously a bad preordain. Alright, it's not nothing. Let's see. I mean, I actually could just cast this Pact of the Titan and make a 4/4 that they can't do anything about. It is very possible I could just kill them like that. Let's see. But yeah, I would need to cast this ritual in order to pay for it. Um, I guess I will cast this and see if I can draw a card here. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to do that. I might force them to start blocking because of this Pact of the Titan. Sure. So I cast this thing. They could try to force Pyretic, and then I just cast Desperate. They're going to Spell Pierce it, and that's fun. They're very scared of dying to a 4/4. Cool. Alright, I think I'm going to keep this in hand just in case I draw another Valakut Awakening. There's no real reason to play this right now. I have the mana I need to cast a Belcher if I draw one, so... They're just trying to find, like, another island or basic swamp. We're trying to find a Charbelcher. Yep. They probably don't have any removal left in their deck to get rid of this Magus. The only thing they might have is, like, the springs here. So they have to discard cards now. Discard Extirpate and Psychic Frog. Oh my god. That's worth knowing about. Okay. Well, first things first, let's attack. I don't think this makes any difference. Okay, well, I'm definitely not using that, so... If I draw another Shatterskull, I probably just need to kill Tamiyo so they stop drawing cards. This is one of the dumbest games of Magic I've ever played in my life. Okay, well that does help. Alright. I think it's worth playing this now. Because if I might get to a point where I can play around Spell Pierce. I can always throw some of these cards away to an Awakening if I draw one. Yep. So they gotta be careful because they can't, like, keep attacking me forever, because at some point they will run out of cards. Or they'll run out of life, I mean. They'll have to start blocking my Magus here. Now they're doing this to draw two. Okay, I see. Oh, that's neat. So what are they doing? They plus can return an instant or sorcery from their graveyard. Okay. What, they eventually just draw all the cards in their deck, so what? So they get a 5 plus 2, 4. Can I erase this right now? I guess they figured that flipping Tamiyo gives them a better chance, because what are they going to do? They're probably just going to get, like, Spell Pierce or Preordain or something like that back at some point. I think I'm supposed to still attack them for the right now. The 2 treasure tokens means I can actually use the Pact of Negation now if I really need to. Yep, they're just turtling here. I do have another Strike It Rich I could play. So this thing is at 6 right now. So I put them at 4. I don't really want to sacrifice another creature, right? So what, if they tick this up again, this will do 1, and this will go to 1 life and draw, like, their entire deck. So I could, like, actually cast this thing. That's what I'm thinking about here. If I attack Tamio, it'll go to 5, then I can attack it again next turn and keep it off. So then I can still potentially play this right now. I think I might be supposed to do this. Because it's -7 to do that. Which means they can plus it, and then I can attack it, and it'll take them at least another turn to do it. I can just cast this thing right here. We have reached the stupid phase of Belcher o'clock. I will not be sacrificing my Magus of the Moon. Alright, we win. They were like, oh fuck, I can't do. They're at a too low of a life total now. They're like, I can't do this. Okay, well, what did we learn? We learned that they are like relying heavily on Thoughtseize, right? So we're going to be on the draw this time. So probably a good idea to have the ley lines. You also know that they're relying on the graveyard, right? So it is they have Extirpate in their deck, so it is not likely that the graveyard plan is going to be successful. I could just take out like those cards for this. Like I don't need like the Wish. I think I can do it like that. No, maybe I'm supposed to take out a Ruby Medallion here. I think like this. Alright. Yeah, I think this is fine. We're gonna keep this. They kept a hand because of Thoughtseize. It is not going to work. Watery Grave. Okay, so we can play our Strike It Rich. Good. Excellent. This is about as good of a hand as we could have hoped for here. Let's say this is a tough matchup. This is not like the worst one ever, but it's definitely difficult. But we can still do this. This is by no means unwinnable. They might have like Harbinger of the Seas, but we're gonna need a. Well, we have our token here anyway, so it's not that bad. No. Yeah, we can still cast. We can still go for like rituals off of this thing and hope for the best. I don't think they have Harbinger of the Seas because they probably would have got their basic swamp if they were going to do that. So. Yeah, okay, good. And then on our turn, we'll probably just flashback Strike It Rich. Fuck it, that seems like a good plan. They're very scared of that Magus now. No, that's also very good. Okay. I would love to pay 3 life. I could just play Belcher here, right? That seems like that's just winning. I have 2 packs. It's gonna resolve, and I don't think there's very much they can do. So they have 2 counter spells, right? So what happens here? Like, what are they gonna do? Counter my Strike It Rich? Sure. Let's try to bait them with this first. Maybe they have a Spell Pierce or something I can like get out of their hand. Yeah, sure. No. But then I can still just play like Pact next turn and just win that way. Like even if they played Harbinger of the Seas here, it wouldn't actually like matter. Oh, they have nothing here? Okay. That's good. Um Does it matter which one of these I play right now? They could have like another Spell Pierce. Alright, I think we're okay to do this. I know you probably have at least one more counterspell. You did not keep a hand without anything else in it, sure. Okay. They don't know that we have another one next turn. They might feel like it's a little bit safer to tap out now, I'm hoping. Maybe not. Okay. Hmm. I have the option to play Strike It Rich and Pinnacle Monk and flashback Strike It Rich. That seems like that's actually not a bad idea because we just increase the amount of mana that we have. Yeah, I like this plan. So they obviously, again, have more counter magic, so the only question is how much, so... And doing this puts us in a position where we can potentially just, like, win in one turn if we just resolve Belcher, so... I do have to kind of be careful because of, like, sinking the Stupor and Leyline. It seems like they probably don't have that either. Alright, what are you doing, opponent? I know you've got 5 bangers in your hand, so what are they? Murktide Regent? Okay. That's fine. What's gonna happen here? Murktide is gonna attack me. Well, I have to be careful. Like, they could potentially play, like, Psychic Frog and make this thing bigger, so it's probably just for the best to just go for this right now. Okay, we win. We got there! Alright, see? Look, we did it. Alright. Okay, hour and 20 minutes in. Alright. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna take a really, really quick bathroom break. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We have more People's Cannon to go here. It's gonna be exciting, I promise. Stay tuned. coming. Don't go anywhere. It's here. We're here. Alright. Did you miss me? Alright. I promised you. Just a minute. That's it. These are like really, really interesting matches. Like the combo decks like this really make you have to play in some interesting ways. They exercise your brain in a way that a lot of other stuff doesn't. So you get to go first again. Excellent. Hand's kind of all right. We got 2 lands, potentially like turn 4 with protection. Means we have to draw another land, but I think otherwise this is worth trying. We just need one more land, and then we'll get there. We have a couple draws to find it too. Or good old pretend to be Titan turn 1. Misty Rainforest, okay. It doesn't tell us what we're up against here. It's not the end. I guess we could actually do this, right? We can cast Manamorphose and then just strike it rich. Yes. Red and red, in case we draw like another strike it rich. Cast. Okay. Sure. Then on our turn, we can play the Valakut Awakening. Cast the Desperate Ritual, play the Goblin Charbelcher, and then untap, and then use it with the 3 lands. So we are up against Living End. Oh god, we're gonna fucking slaughter them. It seems unlikely that Living End is going to defeat us. Like, they need to have, like, 2 Force of Negations, like, on this turn. And I don't think that's going to happen. Force of Negation, huh? Thing is, I don't actually have to do it this turn. I could just not. Like, I don't, yeah. If I want to wait a turn, then it's definitely possible for me to do this. Does it really help me at all to wait another turn? If they have another Force of Negation, I'm still kind of in trouble, but... No, I think I am supposed to just risk this here. Just hope they don't have double Force. Alright, Besage would be really bad for us if they have that, so... Alright, cool. Opponent, do something or you're dead. Cycle Generous and sure. Alright, what do we got? I mean, I presume you're going to just do your cascade stuff here, but I don't think it's going to help you. Okay, they're dead. Maybe they thought I was just going to die to the Pact of Negation? I don't know. I don't know what their plan was. Maybe they just realized they had nothing going on. They didn't want to tell us anything else, but there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so living ends, what do we have to we have to worry about, like, Force of Negation. That's pretty much it. They don't have grief anymore, so the ley line should not be that important here. Yeah, just what are the other sideboard? They do have, like, Force of Vigor and Foundation Breaker, so there is that, but I don't think they have any graveyard hate, so that's fine. Like, really, the only thing we would consider is, I guess, Magus of the Moon is pretty good against them because it turns off, like, their entire mana base. So if this is like an extra win condition, if we play this, they're pretty much dead, so that's fine. We can bring that in. Yeah, I think just that. This is probably not like one where we need Irencrag that badly, so we can trim one of those. They do have. I don't. Some of them play. There is like a. Actually, I don't know if they do or not. They may have like Flare of Denial. They may have Commandeer. Those are possible. Singing to Stupor is an option, is something to worry about, and they have like usually one Beseiju. Press the Enemy is also another one, so just stuff to think about. As far as counter magic goes, it's really, I think, just Force. There is one channel cycling guy, but I don't know if they actually play that card. Otawara is also a thing, but yeah, that's not that important. I think we should be pretty good here. Right, because like there's not a whole lot that they can do. Mystical Dispute doesn't really... I guess Mystical Dispute is okay. They can bring it in against Pact of Negation, right? So I think that this should be fine, though. We'll do it like this. We should have the advantage in this matchup. This seems like it's pretty good. Right? So we got 1, 2, 3... We got 2 lands... Manamorphose. We can potentially get Magus of the Moon in play if we find a ritual, right? We can't use the Pact, though. The thing is, if we get the Magus in play, it's pretty much impossible for them to ever do anything. So I think I'm willing to keep this. Because a ritual, like, will just let us slam this in turn 2, and we have, like, reasonable chances of doing that. Alright, we'll try. And the other thing is, Magus of the Moon is a card they cannot Force of Negate, so that's worth noting. I think that does it, right? They might be waiting with Force for, like, Charbelcher, but yeah, that's going to turn out to be a mistake here. Oops. Sure. Alright, good luck with this. So I don't think they have any out to this. Like, we could just attack them 10 times with it. Subtlety! Oh my god. Alright, sure, I guess. Exile Commandeer. Alright, I guess, yeah, they do have subtlety, alright. Alright, so that was it. Do you want this on the top or the bottom? Do I actually, like, care? I think, honestly, probably the bottom. Because I want to just draw, like, another land so I can play Recross the Paths. Because they just, yeah, they did just burn one of their free counter spells here and to do this, so. Okay. Seems they don't have their Cascader yet. Oh, that's good. If this resolves, then we basically just win, so you better have a force. Because they don't know I have a Pact in hand right now, so they will probably not be able to successfully stop me from miracling here. Okay, good. So this is very good for us. So Turntimber goes on top, and Reforge the Soul. Okay, so what's going to happen is we can actually do this in the upkeep. So Manamorphose will let us basically draw an extra card, because we'll have our draw step here. So, with that in mind, we have 2 mana here. We'll tap our 2 green for Manamorphose. That'll give us the 2 that we need for Reforge the Soul. Which means we then need to... How do we want to do this? What is the easiest way to go about this? We will still have our red land here, so we need Pact of the Titan. So this is 1, 2, 3. So right now that gives us, so we'll tap the land here for our red. So it's 3 cards here, so that gives us red. Then we play the medallion. And then we go up to 3 mana, so we're at 3 cards, 3 mana. We want 2 Pact of Negations, right? So it'll be 4, 5, so it'll give us Pact. Then 6, 7. So that's 4, 5. And then we want rituals here. 6. So then we go Manamorphose. So this will be 7, 7, 7. Our card off of Manamorphose here, which will be Wish. And then we will end up drawing 1 more card. I think... I think we need... We can make it another pact, right? That'll be sufficient, I think. Yeah, I guess that's... I don't think we need it that badly, right? Or it goes Pact, Ritual. I think that's how we're going to do this. Ritual. And then the rest is irrelevant here. The important thing is I have to cast this Manamorphose in my upkeep. So they revealed Living End, so they obviously put Living End on the bottom, so... Okay. Okay. Getting Street Wraith. Neat. And just trying to, I guess, cycle again. If I have calculated this correctly, this should result in them dying pretty much no matter what they have. Alright, let's go through this. Let's see, did I do math right? If I did math right, this should result in a victory. Unless they have double force here. I mean, that's possible, but I don't think so. They had double force. Okay, we die. I couldn't beat them having double forces in that, unfortunately, so that's life. Though, alright, I think we stacked everything the way that we needed to, but yeah, life's just tough sometimes. I don't think I'm changing anything, I'm just gonna run it back. Like, I don't think I need the Veil of Summers that badly. I think the Maguses are way better, and everything else, just being fast is good, so. Love to be on the play. Let's see, we have Belcher, we have Magus, yeah, this seems like alright. Just play Valakut Awakening. Oops, or we have a pause in our upkeep first for that. And then turn 2, I'm just going to try to jam Magus of the Moon and hope they don't have Subtlety. And if they do have Subtlety, I'll put it on top and do it again. I think that's just a really good way to win this game. Alright, you have Force. Do you have Subtlety? Okay, I think they're fucked. I don't think that they can beat this. They have to just naturally have a basic in their hand, and they have like one basic island in their entire deck and one basic forest. So they can get the basic forest here? Okay. But I don't think the forest is enough, right? I think here we're just playing. I don't want to cast this ever because it will give them their basic island, so we're just going to play this land and pass. Cycle more Street Wraiths, go for it. That sounds good to me. Alright, Springs. Yep, because the only out they have is like drawing island plus Otawara, I think. And I mean, I'm just going to kill them in 6 turns at this rate, so. And I mean, I may as well just play the Charbelcher, because again, they have to force this now or they die, so... Okay, they're just dead. Maybe. Actually, that was a little bit risky, actually. They could have Besage You. I may have just given them a way to win this game. Casting that might have actually been dumb, but... Alright. Fire the laser. Okay, well, it worked out, but it's worth noting, like, it was possible that it might not have worked out, because here's the thing. If they commandeer my Belcher, they can actually use my own Belcher to kill this Magus of the Moon, so they can actually start doing stuff again. Unfortunately, yeah. They have to exile 2 blue cards, which means they probably, like, yeah, unless their last, like, 2 cards were, like, Force and another blue card, like, yeah, they weren't getting there, but it could have happened. Like, that was possible, so it was a little bit risky, but I was just weighing it against, like, okay, this is going to take me, like, another, like, 5 turns to attack them this way. Like, what are the chances that they could find, like, their island and start doing something in that amount of time? Like, I don't know. So maybe that was a little bit of an unnecessary risk, but we took it and we got there. Whatever. It's fine. So we get rewarded even though, like, maybe it might not have been right to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. Oopsie. It's okay. And there you go. We fired the People's Cannon once again for great victory. Look, everybody, you know that's why you're here, right? You know I normally play Merfolk, and I'm normally attacking with things to kill people, but today, we're not winning fairly. That's not what the theme of today is about. Today is about the people, and the people demand the People's Cannon be fired. That's what we're here to do. So we are 3-1 with this right now, so already a pretty good showing. The only match we've lost was Death and Taxes, which I think is, like, almost unwinnable. Like, they're playing Ghost Quarters in their main, like, they have the Phantom Orchid guy that blows up our lands, you know, plus the Eldrazi Displacer to keep blanking there, Thought Knot to eat all of our hands, the Skyclave to eat the, you know, Belchers on the board so we can't, like, slow them, kill them across 2 turns, so yeah. Plus, Deafening Silence, like, that entire deck is just a nightmare for us. It's like every possible bad thing that can happen does. We did beat, like, decks with, like, forces and stuff, though, so definitely can be done. We're winning some matches that, you know, require some effort to get there, but we're doing it, so. We are finally not on the play, so we have to be on the draw this time. It's alright. We're up against Solar Potato. Alright, let's see. Solar Potato, what are we doing here? You gonna show us a friend? They are not. Opponent says, good luck, have fun. Thanks. You too. They have mulligan to 6. So, this is actually really interesting here. We have Valakut Awakening. The plunge gets us to 3. Like, I don't, like, if we had, like, 1 or 2 more lands or rituals in here, this would actually be a hand I'd consider keeping. Just because, like, yeah, if we could go, like, land into, like, turn 2, play Plunge plus Pact, and then on turn 3, in response to the trigger, play Ritual and fire the cannon, I might actually consider keeping it, but this doesn't actually threaten to do this fast enough, and this trigger, like, otherwise, like, these 2 cards are only keepable together, but, you know, without the rest of the supporting cast here, they're not good enough on their own. Again, this is really kind of poor here because we have Plunge and nothing to actually, like, do with the mana, so we have to mulligan again. We don't have any lands in this one, so we're going to 4 cards. Alright, fuck, this is, we have what? Smashing here, so I think we have to keep this and just pray. So, Reforge goes back, Pyretic goes back, and Manamorphose goes back. Alright. I don't want to auto yield, so opponent is on Titan. Alright, so this is not a deck that's impossible for us to defeat. If I draw another land, like, I could actually race this. On 4 cards, I could potentially, like, get there fast enough. But I have to have that other land. Like, I can't win with just one. I need 2 lands. Because they didn't play a turn 1 amulet, so there's hope. If I draw the land, I can play Ritual, Manamorphose, Recross, and then actually just kill them in turn 3. That's the dream. Alright, everybody, we have to pray. Untapped land. Untapped land. That's like a third of our deck, so we have like a 33% chance of drawing it. Gotta pray. Alright, what are we doing here? Halfling, sure. Doesn't really affect me at all. Fucking Blade of the Bloodchief. What the fuck? Are we up against Yawgmoth? Is that what's happening? Well, that was probably, like, one of the worst cards we could have drawn this turn. What the fuck is this not? Alright, is this, like, the Golgari deck or something? I don't know. I am totally... I just said, like, nani. I have no idea what's going on here right now. Eldrazi Temple with this? Okay. And Blade of the Bloodchief? What? Cast a colorless... Okay. This is some sort of weird Aristocrats deck. I will tell you, Blade of the Bloodchief was not on my bingo sheet for this league. I don't even know, like, what deck would be playing this card. Like, it has to be some sort of, like, Aristocrat-style deck, right? That's... Okay, So, I mean, it's certainly... Okay, no. Okay, so what? It's like some sort of weird Eldrazi deck. This is new to me. I have not seen this, so... They do have Thought Not Serious. We gotta be careful. That means I really, really, really need to draw the land right now. Because this is gonna get out of hand really quickly. I'm assuming that there's like some sort of combo with this, and it looks like... What, Basking Broodscale, I think, is the one that does this. So we could actually die. Alright, cool. We have to just go for this right now. Alright, so that's 3. Manamorphose. I guess if we draw another Ritual, we could actually just Irencrag feat here. So what, red and green? I guess we have to just recross. That's the play. They have 2 cards left. Yeah, okay. Alright. Turntimber. And then we're going to actually need the land this time, so Turntimber, Shatterskull. Do not accidentally click the wrong stuff here. Alright, we need Infernal Plunge. That's 1, 2, Pact 3, Ruby Medallion 4. Sure, Pact of Negation 5. And we can play, what, Pact is 6? Because after that it goes Manamorphose, like we only have 3 Manamorphose. Okay, so I don't actually think we can use all the packs, so we actually need a Ritual here. So, Ritual, And then Manamorphose. 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 Wish. Oh fuck, we're in a, okay, well then we're not doing that. Then I guess our plan is to just cast this Charbelcher and hope that that's enough. Yeah, okay, we can't actually do the wish because it's in our hand right now. Alright, yeah, then will it let me undo this? Wait, we didn't click Reforge the Soul for this, did we? Oh my god. I totally fucked up. The Reforge the Soul is still here. Oh fuck. Okay, well we're actually just we're screwed now because now we've just wasted an entire turn for this. So yeah, okay, we're just dead. All right. Uh and how did I not click this? The victory was within our grasp. Oh no. Okay. That's so terrible. I fucked it up really hard because I thought I clicked the Reforge. That I missed it. All right. Well, opponent says they had the combo in hand anyway. All right. Well. All right. Well, yeah. So that's fine. All right. So let's see. Basically, so they have what brood scale here. The thing is, whenever counters are put in this, you make an Eldrazi that sacrifices the Blade of the Blood Chief. So whenever a creature dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So they're going to put the Blade on the brood scale, and then they make sacrifice an Eldrazi, put a counter on the brood scale, then it creates another Eldrazi, and then they had the other guy in play, right? The Flesh Raker. So every time that the Eldrazi spawns in play, that it deals us a damage. So okay, yeah, if they as long as they had the Basking Brood scale in hand, we were actually just dead to that. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but so be it. That's life. Okay, so how do we do this here? What do they have here? Honestly, they don't have very much against us. I think we just have to be faster than them, really. That's it. Uh So I don't think I actually really want the Pact of Negations for this match. There's very little I have to worry about with that. Force of Vigor might matter. It's potential they can have stuff like Pithing Needle. But it also does slow some of their stuff down and blows up some of their things. And I guess Magus of the Moon or Pyroclasm or both of those things are also very reasonable here. Magus of the Moon probably does slow them down a little bit. I think that those are just better than the packs for this, so. They have Thought Knot Seer, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so what do we got here? Cannot cast any of these Strike at Riches, so we have to mulligan. This I think well, this is turn 3 Magus. That's pretty slow. I gotta mulligan this. All right. All right, this is much better. We're gonna keep this for sure. Reforge goes in the bottom, and probably Valakut Awakening, I think. Yeah, because we're just gonna. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter a whole lot which one we put. Turn 1, I'm just playing a land, and then turn 2, this one, Ritual, Manamorphose, Recross, and then, yeah, so just... This Pinnacle Monk can go on the bottom. Actually... No, Reforge goes in the bottom. I guess... Is there any reason that I would want to have a second red land versus a green land? I think the Disciple can go away. Okay. So we play a Valakut Awakening, pass. So this will kill them on their turn 2. And it is unlikely that they have a lot that they can do about it. I do have to be concerned because they do have some graveyard hate, so stuff like Relic of Progenitus is a thing. But I don't think that they have anything that stops the Charbelcher from actually just killing them. The Kozilek's command also exiles graveyard stuff, so if I don't have to go for the graveyard line, I probably don't want to. Sure. Yep. Oops, no, I don't want to do that yet. I need to cast Desperate first. Alright. Let's do this right this time. Turntimber. Reforge the Soul. Okay, and now we have to pick our 7 cards here. So now we want Plunge. Pact. Ruby Medallion. We need another land, so Shatterskull for... Don't think that there's anything that they're going to do this turn that I have to worry about it. So that's our 4. So that gets us... We're at 3 mana with this right now. So this will be 5, 6, 7. So that's 1 card. Yeah, so we got... Yeah, Plunge, Pact, Ruby Medallion, and land. So that's 4. It'll be 5. So we can have 2 more cards here, so I guess if for some reason, well, then I guess what we want Charbelcher, right? Well, these are free. These don't actually count as a card. So 4, I guess I can just take the Force of Vigors, right? And then, so Force, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, and then put another green card after it just in case. If I do math right, I think that's okay. All right, just like that. Okay. Okay, on the bottom. So we're taking the Force of Vigor just in case they have some random nonsense like Pithing Needle. So that at least I'm not like stone dead to that. But if they don't have it, then we'll just kill them this turn. Sure. Alright, we're good. Yes. I would love to pay 3 life. Ruby Medallion. Oh, you know what? I might have fucked up. No, I think this is still okay. No, I guess that just means I'm not killing them this turn because I decided to play it safe with the forces. That's why. Alright. I don't know. So yeah, I guess if I had just gotten like more rituals, then I could have just gone for it here. But I don't know. I was playing around them potentially having like a needle or something like that, which means that now I might be exposed to them having something that blows this up. But if they find needle here, I can just kill it right now, so it's not that bad. I just need them not to win the game right now. If they just play like a hate artifact, then I'm okay. Can still just untap and do it. Okay, I got there. So that was a little, I don't know, there was like merit to doing it both ways, I guess, but probably was just better to just try to go for it there. Maybe just stack the forces underneath it in case we needed them. Alright, we're on the draw here. Do we want to change anything on the draw? Probably not. I don't think that there's a whole lot I have to worry about. We just have to be faster. That's it. That's the plan. I like this a lot, actually. So we got Eruption into Strike It Rich. Play Ritual into Magus. Hopefully that's good enough. For a little while, anyway. We're on the draw, we need to do something, so I'm hoping that this is just... Well, that's going to get them a basic here, which is not good. Well, I have Force of Vigor for that thing, so that's not that bad. Okay, well, that changes the calculus a lot right now. But I need another green card or a green source in order to make that work. Or I guess I could use the treasure token for my green, but I need another land, though. Okay. Figure out what to do here. Alright, we got some decisions to make now. I don't think they have enough to actually, like, win this turn, right? So they have to... So they need at least one more thing. Whenever a creature dies... I don't think playing Magus is going to do anything. And the question is, am I going to play Recross this turn or hold up Force of Vigor? So he can make infinite creatures right now, but do infinite creatures do anything at the moment? He needs the Flesh Raker, so the Flesh Raker costs 3. And he needs to equip this. Don't think he has enough mana to do everything. If he, how could this work? He'd need to play like Another Eldrazi, like, okay, so what, he needs... I don't think he has enough mana to do. I'm pretty sure I'm just supposed to try to go for Recross and hope for the best. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, let's give this our best shot. Guess I'm just gonna hope that he doesn't have anything to stop me from using Charbelcher again. Reforge. Okay, so I need the land. Plunge. The Pact. Medallion. Okay, so yeah. So it's 4 cards, 1 mana floating. So we can play... Pyretic takes us up to 4. Or, now, Pyretic takes us up to 3. Manamorphose will be 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, so this is 5, 6. Charbelcher, 6. Just hope we don't need the Force, I guess. So Pyretic. So it'll be 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so land, plunge, pact, Ruby, Pyretic, Manamorphose, plus Belcher. And then we get one more card, which may as well make it a green card and then put Force of Vigor underneath it, I guess. Alright. We're just going to try to win next turn if we can. Oh yeah, that's right. I get the Recross back because this... Alright, so this is fine. Okay, I think this is okay. Sure, we'll just do this. Never mind. We didn't have to worry about it at all because I forgot we got Recross back. Duh. This was never a difficult decision. Okay, which means then they for sure can't win now. There's no way they can get enough stuff in play. They're definitely just dead. All right. Yes, I would love to cast this. I would love to pay the life. Pact. Plunge. Ruby. Pyretic. Manamorphose. 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 Charbelcher. And then we fire the cannon. Alright. Alright, good games, opponent. There we go! It was a 4-1 with the People's Cannon! Alright, we're doing awesome. We only lost one match, and that was basically an unwinnable matchup, so... That was the first time I've ever played against, like, this version of the Eldrazi deck, though, so it kind of took me by surprise. I didn't really know what to expect with this. But, oh yeah. I haven't seen, like, Basking Broodscale in a hot minute, but, there is, like, a version of this deck that exists in Pauper, actually. I think it plays it with Sadistic Glee, and it does more or less the same thing. It's actually, like, kind of like the Splinter Twin of that format right now. So, and I don't know, the sentiment on it seems to be, like, still unclear whether it's, like, a problem or not, but I think it's cool that those kind of decks exist in that format. But, yeah. It's the first time I've seen it in Modern in a very long time, so... It's back in, like, the last time I saw, like, Combo Eldrazi, I think was back when, like, Battle for Zendikar era, when, like, that stuff was still going around. There were some really interesting things you could do then. I think, like, Drowner of Hope actually was a part of the engine for it, so... There we go. Look, 4-1 with the People's Cannon, okay? This was a great victory, so... I know that, you know, this was, like, kind of a night where I don't normally stream on Thursday, but... You know, it's like, if you watch this channel long enough, you'll know that, like, sometimes my schedule just, like, gets messed up and, you know, we roll with it. But you get a video every week. I just don't promise it's going to be on the same day every week. But it's alright. I know this is not usually what I do, but every once in a while I like to take some time and play some other stuff. And this is one of the decks that I really, really love playing. I used to play this deck when it was still playing, you know, stuff like, Traverse the Ulvenwald or whatever to just get, or Caravan Vigil or whatever, stuff that, like, actually search for, like, basic lands in the deck to get them out and stuff. I played this deck before it was cool, alright? But yeah, I'm very happy to see this here. Yeah, I think everything played out exactly the way we needed it to. I think we used all the sideboard cards, which, actually, I don't know if we used the Pyroclasm or not, but I think I'm still fine with having it. Sometimes you'll see people play, like, Lightning Bolts or Galvanic Discharge in this slot. I do think with Boros it's probably worth playing Pyroclasm just because it does slow them down a fair bit if you do it. But otherwise, like, yeah, Magus of the Moon is obviously very good. Once it's a card that cannot be Force of Negation, and, like, the decks are siding out all their removal anyway, so they're not going to be able to remove it once it hits play. And we saw versus, like, Murktide and Living End, this card was very strong. It's awesome. It did the job we needed. And, you know, sometimes you just have to play the actual creatures. Like, there are board states where you might end up casting Disciple of Freyalise or Pinnacle Monk and just going into the red zone, because weird combo decks sometimes have that problem where, you know, you're stuck with a bunch of, you know, random cards and you can't actually win. Like, I've played Oops All Spells in Vintage, where I very nearly won a game by attacking with, like, Narcomoebas and Balustrade Spies. That's just how it goes sometimes, but, you know, the strategy can get there, and we did see it work today, where we managed to attack through a Tamiyo to get to victory, so it's nice. I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get to do the wish line to go for Thassa's Oracle, but knowing that some of the opponents were specifically did have Graveyard Hate that they might have been considering playing, it seemed a little risky to me to go for that line in those cases. But there definitely are times where if you see that if you have reason to believe that, like, they're going to have Pithing Needles, then you want to be able to do that, right? Because if somebody needles your Belcher, you need a way to win the game. So we have two ways to win the game. We don't actually need to target them. We can win through, like, Ley Lines. We can win through Pithing Needles, because Oracle can do either way. We can win through Infinite Life, too. So, you know, those kind of things are not going to help us, or help them, I mean. Yeah, not a concern to us, so... Yeah, that line's a little bit more convoluted, because you have to wish for Underworld Breach. Instead of putting Charbelcher at the bottom of your pile, you put a wish here. You wish for the Underworld Breach, you play the Underworld Breach, then you start replaying rituals out of your graveyard using the Breach. until you can cast Wish again. Then you wish for the Undercity Informer, or you can put Balustrade Spy in this slot. I chose to put Undercity Informer here because there are actually a fair number of decks that are playing Consigned to Memory, and that can counter the trigger of Balustrade Spy, so I decided that Informer was a little bit safer, because once you get to the point where you cast Informer, then it's too late. Their consigns aren't going to do anything. This might be the point that they're waiting for to interact with, and if they do, then yeah, they're not going to be able to use that card. So they could theoretically counter the Ruby Medallion, but I think a lot of them will. A lot of them are expecting you to get to the point where you're going to counter Goblin, or they're going to play Goblin Charbelcher, so they might not actually do it until then. But they'll be sadly disappointed when after this resolve, they'll never get another point to use it. So this plays around Consign a little bit better, so that's why I chose this one. But functionally, they're about the same. They could technically Pithing Needle Undercity Informer, but more likely than not, if they have a Needle, they're putting it on Charbelcher, so it's not a concern that I really have. So, yeah, no, this is a really fun deck. I like it. I play it in paper sometimes. It's crazy. But, you know, Recross the Paths is Modern Doomsday. It's just this really silly card that's just meant to put a land from your deck into play. Just ends up being this, like, all-encompassing, like, I get to stack my entire deck and do crazy combo shenanigans card. Because, you know, that's just how Magic is sometimes. So, but I hope that all of you watching on the replay give this a thumbs up, all right? This was a great 4-1 league. We had great victories. I hope that I've earned your thumbs up, and you know, if you decide that you want to become a member of the YouTube channel or you want to sub to the Twitch channel, you will get your name on the title card for the videos, because that's the least I can do to say thank you to the people who choose to do that. So, like I said, I do this because I love doing it, and, you know, whether or not people choose to do that, I will do this regardless, but I do appreciate it, and anything that I get goes back into the content that I'm making. So, everyone, thank you so much. I will see you again next week. Take it easy, everybody.